On Sunday evening, the 26th of May, Israel dropped a barrage of rockets on an UNRWA shelter that's surrounded by refugee tents. The whole area was previously declared as a safe zone by Israel itself. The explosions caused a massacre as many tents caught on fire, killing over 45 people and injuring over 250. Mutilated, amputated, and many having third and fourth degree burns. Injured. The entire world seems to have finally woken up after we witnessed that man holding his child. We can't unsee what we saw, but we have to prevent more of it. Of course, Israel was not deterred by committing this massacre. In fact, Israel dropped over 60 rockets on Rafah in the first 48 hours since the ICJ ordered them to halt all military operations there. Even though Israel committed so many massacres this week, we still witnessed one. It shook us to our core. So Israel had to do PR management, aka Hasbara propaganda. As always, Israel denied the atrocity, but the images we saw on social media quickly refuted that. Then they claimed that they targeted 2 Hamas commanders, but that didn't excuse the bloodshed, or even calm down the global outrage. So they claimed it was actually a failed Hamas rocket, but the damage and destruction did not correlate with Hamas's usual fireworks. So most Zayushals actually deleted their tweets, but not everyone. Then the first IDF narrative was released, claiming that those people in Rafah were outside the safe zone, so it's all fair game. Let me quickly debunk it. Since the beginning of the genocide, Israel has been pushing and ordering people to evacuate from northern Gaza to southern Gaza, aka Rafah. So for the longest time, Rafah was the only safe zone in Gaza, and it was the red line for US and European leaders. Then beginning of this month, Israel started ordering people to evacuate from Rafah to a new humanitarian zone. Their method was to divide all of the Gaza Strip into blocks, then ordering the people on each block to evacuate on a certain date to the humanitarian zones. So if the block doesn't have any upcoming military operations by Israel, it remains a safe zone. So when Israel releases this map claiming that the strike was outside the humanitarian zone, it still doesn't explain why it was targeted. Actually, I want you to see the overlap of the maps. Was the strike zone in a block that was ordered to evacuate? They also claimed that Hamas has a rocket launch site at that specific block, thus justifying dropping 8 bombs on the area. But if you zoom in on the pictures they published, the Hamas launch site doesn't seem to exist on the satellite imagery they published. Which brings me to the rabbit hole of their latest narrative. The IDF was scrambling and didn't know how to justify the predicted consequences of their genocidal lust. Hence Rafah being a red line for our leaders. But here comes one of the thousands of anonymous, independent social media war crime watchers with the perfect narrative. Almost. Abu Ali Express is a PSYOPs Telegram blogger that was discovered to be an IDF agent in 2021. This 2-cent PSYOP agent claimed to have video proof of what actually happened. Hamas members away from the strike zone claiming it was their failed rocket that hit the tents, and then a shrapnel flew off and hit a jeep full of Hamas weapons of mass destructions. And that's actually what caused the massacre. Except people on Twitter quickly discovered that the video was manipulated as the audio was added in post and didn't match the footage. Next time, pay for a premium. You idiot. Don't worry though, because Israel didn't want to waste the potential of the 2-cent lie, so they modified the story to become the new and current narrative. The official IDF story is that they only dropped 2 teeny tiny rockets on 2 Hamas terrorists. Then a tiny piece of shrapnel flew to a Hamas warehouse, not a jeep this time, that's full of Hamas weapons of mass destructions, which of course exploded and then burnt everyone alive. And for evidence, the IDF brought their best hummus actors to create this masterpiece. An intercepted call where the IDF terrorist hit every Zayo propaganda point in less than 26 seconds. Quite impressive, and one hell of a coincidence. The IDF's hummus actors knew precisely that the IDF used their smallest rockets, how the rockets hit the commanders first, and somehow with their super hummus eyes, saw a shrapnel with the speed of a bullet fly from the terrorists to the warehouse. By the way, it was almost midnight. Hamas eyes are very impressive. Fun fact, the teeny tiny rockets are almost 2 meters long and 110 kilograms. And of course, they're made by the US. I don't know which freaking mutation their narrative has taken by now, but I know the last one was good enough for most media to run with it. Some of the media that didn't swallow the Hasbara lies are calling calling the event a tragic mistake, quoting Bibi Netanyahu. German media, on the other hand, seems to be satisfied with the warehouse lie coming directly from the Israeli army. Germany, I'm an idiot in my bedroom and I found all of this. What's your excuse for not doing journalism? Shame on you. And stop covering up war crimes. Free Palestine, ceasefire now.